In the northern reaches of Europe, winter is always the harshest trial. Yet within that biting cold, the hardship of one species becomes the opportunity for another. In Scandinavia, where mountains rise in rugged folds above desolate lowlands, the golden eagle lives as a proud and solitary hunter. Masters of the sky they may be, but even they struggle to survive the long winter without creatures that have succumbed to the ice. Golden eagles live alone. Their nature does not allow them to share a meal. Even when there is enough food for two, one will eventually drive the other away. In such unforgiving conditions, who would even think of love? And yet, in the heart of winter, their courtship rituals begin. Long before the spring sun awakens, eagle pairs stand on mountain slopes, mating up to 30 times before the female lays her eggs in early April. But that is a story for later. For now, survival remains the first, and hardest, priority. At the edge of a field lies the frozen carcass of a moose, preserved almost perfectly by the brutal Scandinavian winter. Eagle eyes quickly discover this treasure. They descend in a fierce race to claim the first and finest bites. An adult golden eagle reaches the carcass first. But to get to the rich fat beneath, it must tear through the moose's thick winter coat. From a distance, a white-tailed eagle watches. It considers challenging for the prize, but a single powerful wing beat from the golden eagle is enough to make it hesitate and retreat. Not long after, a second white-tailed eagle descends from the gray sky. This newcomer is more determined, but the golden eagle has already eaten its fill and has no desire to waste energy. It withdraws, leaving the battlefield to its larger yellow-billed cousin. In Norse mythology, it is said that the Velgia, giants in the form of eagles, were the ones who commanded the winds across the land. Perhaps that is why golden eagles need such vast, untamed spaces where nature remains raw and unbroken. Today, they are found mainly in the Alps and the Carpathians, where mountain forests and alpine meadows offer abundant prey. Though the nest has been freshly lined with green branches, it remains empty. Nearby, capercaillies continue to be ideal targets. The small hens stay hidden deep in the forest and rarely reveal themselves. But the brightly colored males become easy prey, especially during mating season. As warm winds drift through the woods, the signal of a new season begins to spread. Nature is stirring after a long winter's sleep. Ice melts, revealing patches of forested mountains where enormous feathers can sometimes be found, clear signs that golden eagles have returned. Across the heart of Europe, breeding pairs reappear, carrying with them the promise of a new generation. The number of golden eagles in a region always depends on the abundance of their preferred prey. On the ground, among the still damp vegetation, a few feathers lie scattered, the remnants of a hunt. A male capercaillie has fallen victim to his own heightened testosterone during the mating season. Driven by instinct, he becomes reckless, creating an opportunity for the masters of the sky. The golden eagles patiently return to the carcass again and again, making use of every part until nothing remains. Yet their presence has little impact on the overall capercaillie population. In habitats that remain intact, this bird reproduces in sufficient numbers to offset such losses. And when one prey species becomes scarce, the eagles swiftly turn to another, more abundant species, a brilliant strategy of survival in the natural world. Now, the eagles soar over their territory not to hunt, but to prepare for the breeding season. Since the cold winter days, they have undertaken courtship flights, circling together to strengthen their bond. Eventually, on a bare branch, a pair of golden eagles finally lands. They mate once again, as if to ensure that nothing can hinder the new generation about to take shape. This is the golden eagle's ideal realm, hunting grounds rich with prey and ancient mixed forests serving as nesting sites. And here, the story of our young eagles begins. The forests now breathe the life of spring, and the golden eagles are fully immersed in its rhythm. The male has been incubating the egg for several consecutive hours, the single egg laid by the female just a few days prior. By late April, birds throughout the forest have found safe places to nest. In a neighboring valley, keeping a respectful distance from the eagles, a black stork gently lands on its own nest. Now, with the warmth of spring, the eggs must be kept continuously warm. Both father and mother eagles take turns guarding their precious treasure, day and night, for nearly 45 days. For the black stork, it takes about 5 weeks for the chicks to hatch. Body temperature is crucial for survival, but without a sufficiently thick nest lining, the eggs struggle to develop. The male golden eagle, marked with a research band, keeps watch. While observers might think the egg is about to hatch, life quietly stirs. The shell has already split. A new being has entered the world, right in the heart of the wild. Contrary to the belief that only the female incubates, this eagle pair takes turns with remarkable regularity. The egg is exposed to the cool April air for only a few brief minutes. Now the female returns to the nest, landing so gently that she does not touch the chick lying within. Both the golden eagles and their neighbors, the black stork family, remain almost motionless while tending eggs and chicks. Not far away, a pair of Eurasian pygmy owls are slowly preparing for their own breeding season, still yet to lay eggs. Not all golden eagles choose ancient trees for nesting. Sometimes they prefer bare rocky outcrops rising from the forested sea, provided the site is difficult for predators to reach. On such a rock, 2 eggs have hatched, revealing 2 fragile eaglets. The mother continually brings fresh conifer branches and green fallen leaves to add to the nest, expanding it over the 2.5 months of chick rearing. Meanwhile, the father's task is to hunt. He regularly delivers small prey, this time a mouse, which the mother tears into pieces to feed the young. About 95% of golden eagles lay their eggs on rocky outcrops, the rest choose large trees. In our pair's case, nesting on an old fir, only a single chick requires care, but the work is far from easy. Both parents alternate hunting shifts. When natural prey becomes scarce, human-kept flocks suddenly become easy targets. From their vantage point, the golden eagles can observe every movement within a pigeon loft, a perfect hunting opportunity. On a warm late April day, the tiny eaglet endures the nuisance of buzzing flies, much like the Eurasian pygmy owls in their own nests. Life has just begun, and yet the endless rhythm of nature continues unabated. The largest and smallest raptors of the mountain forest are both plagued by the same nuisance, persistent buzzing flies. On the roof of a pigeon loft, the female golden eagle patiently observes, waiting for the right moment. In the distance, the male has returned successfully from a hunt, carrying the remains of a young pigeon, a rare prize, as adult pigeons are usually too quick to fall victim. It is the inexperienced juveniles who are most vulnerable, a harsh yet familiar form of natural selection. After delivering the prey, the male takes flight again, leaving the rest of the work to his mate. As usual, it is the female who tears the prey into pieces and feeds the eaglet. The golden eagle's nest is slightly smaller than that of a white-tailed eagle, about 1.5 meters wide and nearly 1 meter tall, roughly the same size as the black stork's nest in the neighboring valley. There, 3 young storks constantly gape for food, while the golden eagle nest hosts a single chick. In the stork family, the food consists of whole fish. For the golden eagle, however, the mother provides roughly 40 kilograms of prey over the course of chick rearing. Once full, the black stork chicks can play freely in the nest, while the eaglet must remain beside its mother, sheltered beneath her warm wings whenever the weather turns cold. Within the golden eagle's territory, there is also a family of Eurasian pygmy owls, small but highly skilled predators of the forest. In just one breeding season, a pair of pygmy owls may hunt more than 200 songbirds and small mammals to feed 7 continuously hungry chicks. Bones and leftover scraps are cast straight out of the nest, leaving the interior cramped but always warm. Meanwhile, the eagle mother continues to bring fresh branches, both conifer and broadleaf, to reinforce the nest. The reason remains a mystery. Some suggest the fresh branches are cleaner and easier to arrange. Others speculate that the green leaves may have natural antiseptic properties. Whatever the case, she works tirelessly to build, adjust, and maintain the nest. Her day is consumed by the dual tasks of feeding her chick and caring for the nest, a structure the eagle pair will use and expand for years, much like the neighboring black stork family. Now, with May underway and the air warming, the eaglet no longer needs to be sheltered under its mother's wings so frequently. In the European mountain forests, it is not only eagles and storks entering the breeding season, the entire woodland hums with new life. In the plant kingdom, life is passed on to the next generation as well. The ancient mixed forests along the Lacunos coast are home to the spectacular lady's slipper orchid, one of Europe's most magnificent orchids. Where the lady's slipper blooms and golden eagles still call, nature retains a rare, untouched beauty. The male golden eagle returns to the nest carrying a large water vole, his next contribution to the family's larder. Meanwhile, the female brings another branch, immediately taking control of the nest as usual. The black storks, ever watchful neighbors, are less intimidated by the golden eagle. They can defend themselves and never let their chicks leave sight. At the stork nest, both parents share the responsibility of feeding the young. In the eagle's nest, however, the chick receives its nourishment solely from the mother. For weeks, energy-rich prey is brought to the nest in steady supply. As the nutrients are digested, leftovers fall to the forest floor, enriching the soil and helping nettles, plants that thrive in nitrogen-rich ground, grow vigorously. Wherever nettles flourish, red admiral butterflies also thrive. Their larvae feed exclusively on nettle leaves. In this way, the enormous raptors of the forest inadvertently sustain a new generation of tiny caterpillars. While black storks require nearly 100 days to raise their chicks to independence, the red admiral completes its transformation in less than 2 weeks. A warm rain sweeps across the hills of Central Europe, awakening many hidden forest inhabitants. The male eagle patrols the forest edge, not hunting deep in the woods, since most of its prey lives on the mountain meadows. Suddenly, the female eagle notices something. Even giant birds sometimes hunt the smallest creatures of the forest. The male swoops in from afar, while the female watches his every move. On the mountain meadow, another resident adds its voice to the chorus, the corn bunting, singing its cheerful tune. The hunt ended quickly. The eagle pair returned to the nest with their prey, their feathers soaked from the rain. Though May no longer brought the harsh cold of winter, the downy feathers of the eaglet were easily drenched, leaving it vulnerable to chills. At least in a rocky nest, the young were sheltered under a sturdy roof. In tree nests, however, the mother eagle could not leave her chick for too long. The eaglet, with its fragile down, still relied on its mother's warmth. Whenever the weather cleared and became mild, it nestled deep into her feathers, shielding itself from sudden gusts of wind. Eventually, the rain ceased. Pooled water shimmered on the forest floor under the muted light. The eaglet remained safe. But fortune was not always on its side. In particularly rainy years, many chicks perished in the nest when their mothers had to leave in search of food. As long as the May sun continued to shine, the small eaglet faced no real threat. It stayed in the nest while its parents patrolled the skies above, guarding their territory. Below, it busied itself with leftover scraps, learning what was edible and what was not. Yet, no matter how curious it became, the moment it was most captivated was when the shadow of an adult eagle stretched across the nest, wings spread, carrying a fresh meal. To the young eagle, that was the clearest signal of survival. The forested cliffs were also home and breeding grounds for many other birds, such as the common raven. Being neighbors with them did not always prevent conflict. Surprisingly, the ravens often dominated these brief aerial encounters. Yet these skirmishes rarely had serious consequences. The golden eagle may be the king of the mountains, but it was not the absolute ruler of this domain. Troublesome neighbors were not its only concern. Even in primeval forests, hunting was no easy task. The era when herds of massive ungulates roamed the valleys, followed by large predators, had long passed. Yet wherever humans cultivated meadows, small animals, hares, fawns, appeared, becoming an important source of food for the eagles. Our pair of eagles still returned to their nest with prey taken from the human-shaped valleys below. Near the nest another, troublemaker, was present, the common hawk. Golden eagles are highly sensitive to any disturbance near their nest, and the female remained ever vigilant, scanning her surroundings. The common hawk is the most widespread raptor in Central Europe, with about 200,000 breeding pairs, half of them in Germany alone. This raises a question: why is the hawk so abundant, while the golden eagle has become a species at risk of extinction? The female eagle left the nest. The rarity of golden eagles is not due to the small, bold hawks, even though they are willing to attack an eagle if their own nest is threatened. The causes of the golden eagle's disappearance have been well documented in European history. The decline began in the 17th century, first in eastern Germany, then central Germany, and later the southwest. By the late 19th century, golden eagles had almost vanished from the forests of northeastern Germany. Ultimately, they were confined to the most inaccessible mountain regions of Europe. Why did this happen? For centuries, humans hunted golden eagles mercilessly. They were seen as competitors in hunting and as threats to livestock and poultry. States even offered bounties for killing them, just as they once tried to eliminate wolves, brown bears, and lynxes. Today, raptors are strictly protected, and illegal shootings are rare. Yet golden eagles still cannot expand beyond the Alps and Carpathians. When eagle populations declined, the forests themselves changed, replaced by human hands. From axes and saws to enormous timber harvesting machines, the modern economy turned forests into industrial resources, to be exploited as quickly and as intensively as possible. Never before had humans been able to fell and process so much wood in such a short time. In many areas, timber production has doubled in just 10 years. The growing demand for raw materials leaves little room for the slow, natural cycles of growth and decay within the ecosystem. Our forests are becoming younger, denser, and darker, and this is far from the ideal environment for golden eagles, a species that depends on ancient trees and wide open spaces. Forests are increasingly being transformed into industrial zones for the timber industry. It is therefore no surprise that the last remaining pairs of golden eagles now hold territories only in the most inaccessible areas, ancient forest patches within national parks. Black storks and many other species are also under pressure from excessive logging. Since the hunting of large birds of prey was banned, forests are at least no longer under immediate threat of extinction. However, the future number of breeding golden eagles will heavily depend on how humans continue to manage forests across Europe. While young black storks devour everything their parents bring back, golden eagle nests are often filled with leftover prey, sometimes even whole animals, like this bank vole. The female eagle flies out to hunt, while the chick feasts on its own banquet. It has been a favorable year for the golden eagles and many other breeding birds in these forests. About 2 months after hatching, the mountain eagle chicks have grown quickly. In their unusual nests, curious guests often appear. Wood mice or bank voles frequently scavenge for scraps among branches, grass, and leftover bones. Red admiral butterflies are also attracted to the droppings in the nest, where they can find essential minerals. The bank voles sometimes even raise their young right beneath the eagle nest. Weeks pass, and the mountain sky seems almost always clear. The eagles have enough food, and the populations of other raptors in the forest are increasing. But in nature, success and failure are never far apart. A parent returns to the nest with lunch, a hedgehog. The chicks, now cloaked in the darker plumage of their early stages, are largely resilient to the weather. Still, bad weather remains a threat to the young, not only because of cold and damp, but also because rain makes prey scarce. At such times, inexperienced chicks can become trapped in the nest. One of the 2 chicks in this nest is weakening. Its sibling seems to try to interact, but the smaller eagle has died, falling just short of surviving this critical stage. In the mountains, the weather changes suddenly and is far more severe than on the plains. When it rains, most of the golden eagle's prey hide, making hunting difficult. The mother eagle in the nest must perform a cruel but necessary act. She feeds the surviving chick with the flesh of its dead sibling. Eagles have no concept of morality. For them, survival comes first. Yet nature always has 2 sides. Storms may threaten the life of a golden eagle chick, but the bad weather also creates opportunities for other mountain dwellers. Water-filled depressions along forest paths become ideal habitats for small amphibians, especially the yellow-bellied toad, a species that depends on heavy rains to reproduce. As their habitats are increasingly scarce, the toads waste no time. Mating begins immediately when the rains arrive. However, not everyone shows the same enthusiasm. It is a damp, warm day in June. The remaining eagle chick, nestled in a shady cliffside nest, is ready to leave. The 2 adult eagles stay nearby, guiding the young bird across their territory, gently coaxing it to leave the strange nest that has sheltered it through its earliest months. Occasionally, the male returns to the nest with a prey item but quickly flies off again, encouraging the chick to practice flying more. The adults continue to watch closely, but their role has shifted. Now it is about urging the chick to leave the nest and begin its own life. Finally, the moment arrives. The chocolate-brown juvenile spreads its wings and departs from the nest. From today, it will soar and hunt alongside its parents for the next 5 months. June is a season of abundance. Prey is plentiful in the mountain habitat. Young foxes sleep in their dens but are frequently disturbed by playful antics or early explorations. For the golden eagles, These distracted foxes make easy prey, and the birds take full advantage. The adult eagles no longer bring food back to the nest. They now feed themselves and place leftovers in exposed spots throughout their territory, to entice the chick to leave the nest and fetch its own food. After a while, the strange nest in the tree stands empty. The young eagle has leapt, stretched its wings, and entered the wider world. Nothing in the forest goes to waste. Any scraps left behind are quickly gathered by other species, such as the Eurasian jay. Though it has left the nest, our young eagle continues to be cared for by its parents, receiving food and learning vital hunting skills. By next year, it will become a fully grown golden eagle, and someday it will claim its own territory, and perhaps even a nest of its own. Similarly, the young black storks have survived the breeding season. Together with their parents, they soar around their nesting area in the Carpathians, preparing for the long journey south. Next year, they will return, and eventually, they too will raise their first brood in a remote mountain forest.